Our top story tonight, ICE enforcement continues. In this video, federal agents are outside the home of a Hmong family that maintains they are U.S. citizens. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Randy Meyer. Our Maury Glover spoke to the man who took the video and joins us now live. Maury, do we know why ICE agents were there in the first place?
Well, this immigration crackdown was supposed to target the Somali community, but other immigrant communities are also feeling the effects.
Kong Vang says he didn't go looking for ICE.
Can we help you? I don't care who you are.
But they came knocking on his front door anyway.
No, you're trespassing. You're trespassing. This is our property. I don't need to do anything. I'm still upset, frustrated, scared, all types of emotions.
Vang says he was working from home in St. Paul's Frogtown neighborhood early Monday afternoon when his mother told him there was a stranger at the door. Suspecting it might be ICE, Vang grabbed his phone and started recording his interaction with the agents outside.
You don't need to wait. We're not opening the door. I was really curious and wondering why they were here. I see that they've been targeting a lot of people of color, so that's the only reason I could think of why they were here.
Vang says he lives with his parents who came to the U.S. from Laos in the 70s, as well as his sister and son, and all of them are U.S. citizens. But he was worried what would happen if he opened the door, so he never did.
I was afraid they were going to take me away, take my mom away, and just, rush our house and do whatever they, been trying to do with legal citizens, with people that, haven't done anything wrong.
Vang says the agents didn't tell him why they were there, and after about a minute and a half of back and forth, they left. But he wants others in his community to know what's happening, and more importantly, to know their rights.
They keep on telling you that they think they're doing the right thing, but they're not.
Now, a video of the visit that Vang posted on social media.
Immigration attorneys are demanding ICE release a man who was arrested after agents used a battering ram to get inside his home in Minneapolis.
And as Fox 9 investigator Paul Bloom tells us tonight, the man's legal team says ICE did not have a judicial warrant when they broke down his door.
Sunday morning, North Minneapolis. An agitated crowd gathered as federal agents battered their way into the home of Garrison Gibson. While an Associated Press photographer captured the scenes outside.
Where is the warrant? Where is it? Can you put the guns down, though?
Gibson's family was documenting the unfolding immigration enforcement operation live on Facebook, demanding to see a signed judicial warrant to justify the arrest of the 38-year-old.
To see a battering ram coming to the front door of your house with a 9-year-old inside is just terrifying.
Armed agents eventually handcuffed Gibson and escorted him out with a hoodie over his head. The only paperwork loved ones were shown. This administrative warrant with no apparent signature from a judge.
I mean, any American should be terrified by that because that is such an egregious violation.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashim, which means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man who, by the way, only came for the Israelites. Which brings us to our discussion / topic this morning is the Israelites are next on the menu. The Israelites are next on the menu. All right? Because those two clips that were showed conveyed a message that they're setting the stage, or they're getting ready to come in, as it says, as a flood. All right? Now, the first video was of a man who they said was a monk, and ICE came knocking at his door, questioning his legality of whether or not he had the rights to live and to have citizenship here in America. But they left. The second clip, that guy wasn't so lucky. ICE came in with a battering ram and took him out, and the warrant that they showed, that they said that it was served by the judge, did not even have a signature. So what does that tell us? We got to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because the Israelites are next on the menu. And what am I talking about? The Israelites that are in the truth. All right? You fringe wearing Israelites that you wear your fringes everywhere that you go. To the grocery store, to the gym, to school, to work, so on and so forth. You're putting yourself on the radar. All right? You're putting yourself on the radar. You have to be incognito. All right? And it's not that you're afraid to wear your fringes, it's that you got to use discernment, man. You got to know the times that we in. Okay? Now, when we teach and we out on the highway and hedges, we stand bold as a lion. We wear our fringes, but you're not going to see us out here in our everyday walk of life wearing fringes, especially in these times. All right? Because they're going to come questioning. They're going to come knock on your door. They're going to come ram your door in. All right? To see whether or not you're a citizen or not. All right? Because of your attire. And their minds is going to suggest that you are a foreign or even some type of domestic terrorist. If you get what I said, how I said it. So that's why you got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, man. Don't advertise. It's no one's business. Okay? If they meant to get the word, the truth, the light, they'll get it if they have the elect. But for you to go on your job, you a post office or you a postman and you wearing fringes and you doing this, you doing too much, Jake. Because we see the times we're coming into. All right? We are in Jacob's trouble, and it's only going to intensify. So it will behoove you to use wisdom and knowledge, which is going to be the stability of our time, and know how to move, man. This is Revelation 2:10. It reads, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Because eventually they're going to get some of us anyways, but we're not going to make it such a way where they could just come get us easily by advertising and promoting. All right? So it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil," see, he's already building up a false allegation on us anyways. So by you wearing your fringes at work, your co-workers are going to set the stage. They're going to lie on oath and lie on the stand and everything else. At grocery stores, who knows? You could be watching and they could be following and trolling you. You got to give this devil no room to give you any type of false allegations or accusations. It says, "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." See, because that's his whole MO, is he's going to round up as many Israelites as he can, including, members of the elect. All right. And then he's going to go and sort things out at a later moment, at a later time. So some of us will be cast into prison. All right. Yahushua was took away and carted away into prison. As we're going to get it. So it says, "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried." See? But this is for a testimony. All right? This is for a testimony. It says, "And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which is a period of time." What does Yahushua tell us? be thou faithful unto death, even if they put us on the chopping block and say we have found you guilty by reason of treason. You're preaching that Bible is contrary to what we are allowed at this time to teach. We done brought you up on these charges. It's punishable by execution via what? What do you call that thing? Guillotine. Because you got to remember, Trump said in his first term that he wants to bring back the guillotine. Revelation 20:4. I saw those that were beheaded for the testimony of Yahushua. So it stands to reason that some of us are going to be what? Beheaded, man. For Yahushua's sake. So we have to be mindful of how we moving and about in this very tumultuous times, okay? Because they're coming. All right? The Israelites are on the menu, okay? It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. See? These words comforting us. The Holy Spirit is setting the stage, is getting us right up top in the spirit and in the mind for the times that's coming. And it's telling us, fear none of these things, because if the Lord is with us, who can be against us? Now, the 2/3 of the Israelites, they're not going to have this mercy bestowed upon them. They're going to get it the worst way. All right? But you don't want to put yourself in the crosshairs by wearing your fringes everywhere you go. Because you're going to be surprised who turned you in and who's watching you. Okay? But fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Because if you are of the elect, the Lord is going to take care of you all the way up to the end if that's your lot to be beheaded. That it's going to be a smooth, painless transition. You ain't even going to feel it. And you're going to be with the Father. And when Yahushua returns, he's going to raise those that have been beheaded for his testimony first, man, to meet in the sky in the chariots forever. So there's no lose-lose in this truth, only win-win. This is Matthew chapter 26, because they came and got Yahushua. All right? This is the book of Matthew chapter 26 and verse 25. It reads, in that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? So when they came and they got Yahushua, here it is, he had did nothing but taught the truth, and they came out with swords and staves, just like these damn devils are going to roll on us with ARs. You've seen the second clip. They're going to come, all right? And as it's written, some brothers will receive spiritual powers to put them to flight, but other brothers are going to be taken along with their family members for a testimony. You heard in the second clip that a 9-year-old was there in the house when they came and rammed the door down. The Lord has put the spirit on these devils to not give a damn, all right? Whether you got a newborn, a small child, or an elderly parent, all right? As it says, we make ourselves a prey, okay? Matter of fact, let's see if I can grab that. Because this is the time we coming into, all right? And if you don't have the Lord on your side, you finish. Give me 1 second. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 59. And let's start at verse 15. I believe that's the point. It says, yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. See? So guess what? They got us on the menu, all right? Especially the elect of Israel. They've watched the videos. They know where you teach. They got you in their crosshairs already. So when all hell breaks loose, they coming. They coming in like a flood. It says, yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey, and Yahweh saw it and is displeased him that there was no judgment. So we understand, hey, just because we have to, walk a certain way doesn't give us the carte blanche or the green light to advertise and broadcast who we are, man, and our everyday goings. All right, because coming into this truth, we are a prey now. All right, we're public enemy number one, and make no mistake about it. That's who this devil is coming after. He's just using different avenues to go about it. All right, he's putting laws on the book, so when he really rolls in and hones in on the Israelites, especially the elect, he has everything well within his rights to do so. All right? So he took Yahushua, and he's going to take us, as we're going to read. So let's get back to Matthew 26 in verse 55. It says, in that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? And they're going to come out against us as if we are thieves or heiresses, And here it's going to be your neighbors that's going to turn you in. Hell, your own family members could turn you in and will turn you in. Your co-workers. You're gonna be surprised who's going to drop the dime on you, man. All right? But fear none of those things. All right? If that's our lot, to be taken in into one of these detention centers, these camps, for a testimony of Yahushua, stand proud, stand 10 toes down. It says, Yahushua says, I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. See? Because it wasn't time. Just like it's not time for them to lay hold on us right now. But the time is coming where they're going to switch all their attention to the Israelites. All right? It says, verse 56, but all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all his disciples forsook him and fled. See? And this is when it's going to be known who are the Lord's, true servants. All right? Then shall be known who are the elect. All right? Because they're going to come in like a madman sparing none, taking us out of our houses, carting us off to these detention centers, so on and so forth. All right? They took Yahushua, and he did nothing but taught at the synagogue. So you can bet it could be a likely scenario where if they don't catch you at your house, they're going to have ICE at your job waiting on you. They may follow you to a grocery store, catch you while you putting your groceries in the car, but fear none of those things, all right? That's why we have the scriptures to comfort us, all right? They took Yahushua, all right? And he didn't do anything. He didn't resist or anything because he knew it was not his time yet, all right? That's why his disciple says, will thou now? How's it go? Let me see if I can find it. Matthew might be 16. Give me 1 second. Wilt thou now? This is the book of Acts, chapter 1. In verse 6, it says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel? Verse 7, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth, which is where we at now in America. All right, so it wasn't time for Yahushua then to deliver the Israelites. All right, now is the time that we're approaching in this second Roman leg that he's getting ready to return. So the point is that he understood that although they came at him with staves and knives, it wasn't time for him to take them down. All right, but now is the time. All right, so they came at him with staves and knives as if he was a thief, as he said. Let's read it again. Matthew 26 and 55. It reads, are you come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. So, hey, we got to understand, if they did it to Yahushua, how much more us, all right? Let's get that. John chapter 15, and then we get ready to close out. Verse 20. This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 20. It says, Yahushua reads or says, Salakia, remember the word that I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, what? They will also persecute you. So guess what? Some of us are going to be persecuted, all right? Wrongfully, persecuted, but it says, blessed is those that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. So although they're going to lie on us and tell, exaggerated, alibis or exaggerated, false claims, we have to understand we got to stay the course, man. It says, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So here we are, all right? The time that they're going to escalate this to the next level, where they're going to start coming after what they would deem U.S. citizens, but they're going to look at them as DTs, domestic terrorists, if you get what I'm saying. And you can bet the Israelites are going to be on the menu. Number one, public enemy number one, all right? And if you wearing your fringes everywhere you go, you making yourself a target, all right? When you don't need to. And it's not that you fear, it's that you using discernment, all right? Knowing the times that we in, okay? We know that this devil is not playing by the rules, man. He's setting his own rules to come after us, all right? Because we departed from evil, we make ourselves a prey, okay? So let's go ahead and close out with 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, see? It's a certain way we move in this truth, coming into it than when we were in the world, all right? And moving with discernment is the best way to go, all right? We got to be incognito, as much as possible on our job, on our everyday life, or our everyday walk throughout our life, even around our family members, okay? Because like was stated earlier, you don't know who's going to turn you in, man. A neighbor, a family member, an employer, whoever, all right? Because they're going to, in their mind, they're going to think they're doing something commendable. Or they might not just like you. All right? You may find out that you got family members that disdain you because you in this truth. All right? Close family members. Backstabbers, smile in your face all the while they want to take your place, man. If you don't think a family member would turn you in, man, you better read the Bible, man. Right around Matthew 10 and 37, or at least the book of Matthew chapter 10, verses 30 up in there. How is this going to be divided, man? Because Yahweh says, think not that I have come to bring peace. I am come to bring a sword. Division. Straight down a household, man. A family. Your family member's going to turn you in. Okay? They biting their tongue. They waiting their time. When that time comes, whether they turn you in purposefully or unknowingly, they going to turn you in. All right? Don't worry about it, man. Fear none of those things, which you shall suffer. All right? We've been told and warned of these things, so when it happens, it don't catch us by surprise. All right? But you don't make yourself a prey just because you want to be over righteously. The scriptures say, be not over righteously. All right? Now you wear your fringes everywhere. To the gym, to the supermarket, to your job. You're being over righteous, Jake. Okay? This is the time that you want to use discernment, man. All right? We going to be on the move. Okay? It ain't going to be too much longer till you see one of these Israelite camps getting caught up by ICE and taken into a facility or somewhere like that, and you're going to know what time it is, man. All right? So this is the time we in. So it says 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. See? So it's not too much longer that we got to, we finna be on the menu, man. And his full, undivided attention is going to be after the Israelites. Right now, they trying to make you think that they just coming after quote-unquote undocumented immigrants. We already see who the majority of their target is, the Northern Kingdom, and then it's going to be all of Israel, man. All right? So this is the time we in. Get ready, all right? The Israelites are on the menu, okay? So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson, and until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.